What's up, guys? Coach Key from Conder Baseball Academy, and today is the first part of a 5-part series diving into historical players that you should study. And each one has their own theme and different reasons why. The first one is Derek Jeter, and he was my childhood hero growing up, diehard Yankees fan, and I am blessed beyond measure to have got to watch him play throughout his career. And so I've got a note card. Again, I'm going to be doing 4 more of these. Also current players as well. And I've got a note card, so I'm going to read some stats and then also why you should study them. So here we go. Derek Jeter is a 14-time All-Star, 5-time Gold Glove Award winner, 5-time Silver Slugger, 5-time World Series champion, multiple sportsmanship awards, among many other off-the-field things. In fact, as you can see right here by that next slide, you can see that there's lots of awards that he's got over the years on and off the field. He's a well-decorated player on and off. 3,000 hits on a home run. At the time, he was only the second player to have done that. The first was Wade Boggs. It was pretty cool. I was actually watching that game live on TV when it happened, so it was really cool. Most games played by a Yankee. He was the Yankees captain, which was the 15th in team history from 2003 to 2014. And so it went from 1995, when Don Mattingly was the last captain, until 2003. So the Yankees don't do a whole lot of captains. Some teams do them every year. So that's why 15th, there's only 15. That's pretty significant. He's a career 310 hitter, which you know or may not know, but if you hit 300 for a long enough period of time, you're considered a Hall of Famer. 300 is good, which means that 7 out of 10 times you're not getting a hit and you're still considered really good. That just proves that baseball is a hard sport. You're hitting a round ball with a round bat with different speeds, different movements, in and out, and the guy could even hit you with the pitch. So there's a lot going on, which is why, in my opinion, baseball is the hardest game that there is. So he is, as I mentioned, a 310 career hitter. Now, early on in his career could have been completely different. And this is one highlight. There's 3 highlights. This is the first one of why you should study him. In 1992, when he was drafted out of high school, he went to play in the minor leagues in the system with the Yankees, and he was homesick. He was struggling. In fact, his first professional game, he was 0 for 7 with 5 strikeouts. And so that whole season, he was really struggling. First time away from home, and just, first time really struggling playing baseball. He'd always been the best on his team up until that point. And so it's written that he was racking up $400 a month in phone bills to call back home because he was homesick and wanted to go home. So at any point, imagine how many players that could have been better than Derek Jeter that quit. Or imagine how many players that could have been the shortstop of the Yankees or could have. So that's why it's a highlight, is you never want to quit. Even when things get tough, when things are really, really hard, you just want to dig deep, especially if you feel that it's a dream and it's a passion, it's something that you're really, really excited about and confident in yourself. Just keep on going. Keep on pushing through. Just whatever you do, do not quit. And that speaks to that, because had he walked away and gotten, a lot of guys went back home, right? They go off to play minor league baseball. Minor league baseball is a tough life, and could have quit and hung up the spikes early, and we would have never gotten to see the greatness of Derek Jeter. So that's highlight number 1. Highlight number 2 is Derek Jeter was a career 317 hitter going into the 2010 season. That season, he had his lowest batting average of his, well, not the lowest batting average of his career, but he hit 270, which is 47 points lower than what his career average was until that point. He'd only hit below 300 4 seasons total. The first of which was his 1995 season, which was the year before his rookie year. And he hit 250 that season. So the 3 other seasons after his rookie year that he hit under 300, not including 2010. So after that, he basically got back to work. He went and worked with the hitting coach of the Yankees, Coach Long, and put in work, retooled his swing, changed things up. Now, what's significant about that is 2010. So the last World Series championship that the Yankees won was 2009. So he was already a 5-time World Series champion. He was already a multi-millionaire. He was already a first ballot Hall of Famer. He was, for all intents and purposes, he could have hung him up after 15 seasons and been just fine. But again, highlight number 2 is his determination in wanting to come back and prove to himself, and then also prove to others that he still has what it takes to play at the major league level. And that speaks to his fight and his determination, his grit. And you're going to see throughout this series that both with the current players and the historical players, that inner toughness and that mental toughness and that grind and that determination to be great is congruent throughout all of them. So you really want to be able to dig deep and find that, whether it's baseball, whether you move on and continue playing baseball, or you do other sports or other activities. The truth is that majority of people, or the majority of kids watching this video, are not going to play Major League Baseball. But the things that you learn on the baseball field and the skills and the mental toughness that it takes, losing 7 out of 10 times, prepares you for life after sports, because it's not all peaches and cream, and not everyone gets a trophy. Not every day is a good day. So learning how to fail and learning how to be okay with that and push through and work harder is a great life skill to have. And again, Derek Jeter exemplifies that. So retooled his swing. So 2011, he came out, hit 297, so getting a little bit better. 2012, he came out and hit 316, the Derek Jeter that we know and love, right? After that, it kind of went downhill from there. He was 190 the year after, only played 17 games, and then he hit 256 his last full season in the major leagues, which was his last season. So resulting in a 310 career batting average. So that was highlight number 2, is pushing through and bouncing back when he could have hung it up as a 5-time champion already. He really didn't have anything left to prove, but he did to himself, and he still had that fight. So he got back after a little bit. The third highlight, and one of the ones that's probably the most important to me, and because it's hard to teach, and some kids have it and some kids don't, or some people have it and some people don't. Even professionals that are at the top of their game, when the lights shine the brightest, so when you have postseason or playoff baseball, World Series baseball, or playoff basketball, or playoffs in the NFL, really, really good professional athletes still succumb to the pressure of postseason and playoffs and more people watching and more pressure. And I'm going to go over his postseason statistics, and it's going to prove that he was the same player when in April as he was in October. And that's, to me, again, that's the best highlight, which is why I saved that one for last, is because that's one of those things where, again, when pressure gets intense in life, if you've learned how to handle pressure and smaller, kind of less important environments, like the game of baseball, for example, it's really not that big of a deal, but there is pressure, especially when it's your job. But if you can learn how to do that on the baseball field, is dial in and focus a little bit more when the pressure gets tighter, you will be way more successful in your life whenever your baseball career is over. And it's tough, so it's going to take some work to do. But he played 158 games, which is basically a regular Major League Baseball season, which is 162 games. So we're going to call that a full season. He had 650 at-bats, which is a full season for him. 111 runs, once again a full season. 200 hits, and 20 home runs, in a career 308 postseason batting average. I just told you his career batting average in the regular season was 310, and all of those stats, you can look them up, are about his average for any regular season. He averaged 200 hits for like 13 or like 10, 11 years of his 14 or something crazy. But his stats are out there that you can go and look, but his postseason stats are right on par with his regular season stats. And then to wrap up, within that, he also had a flair for the dramatics. He also had a flair for being in the right place at the right time. There's a video, I'm going to post a video in here of the flip play, and the significance of that flip play. All right, so we're going to take a closer look at this flip play that Jeter's known and famous for. Ball's going to go down the right field line. You're going to see a double cut, and both guys in the cut are overthrown. Jeter's going to come from shortstop, which is way over here, right? And catch it right here. So from here, all the way from over there, out of position, but he was watching it develop, and he was there just in case, right? Just in case. If he doesn't get that and win that game, then they may not win that series, and things can change a lot from that point. But understand, he's a student of the game, and he was in the right place at the right time because he studied the game and he was paying attention to what's going on. So let's finish the rest of the play. So he gets the flip, flips it to Posada, tags Jeremy Giambi on the calf right before he touches home plate. Again, this is incredible. Overthrows both cutoff men. He flips it, and we've got a tag. absolutely incredible, and just speaks to who Jeter is. Always being aware, always knowing where to be, and always knowing where other people needed to be. That's key, especially for shortstops, pitchers, quarterbacks, point guards. Not only do you have to know your position, but you're the leader on the court or the field. You need to know other people's positions as well, and where they need to be, and where they should be, and that way you can help coach them where they should be. Just speaks to who Derek Jeter is in baseball IQ, which you're also going to learn about in this mini series, in learning situational baseball, learning where you're supposed to be, learning why you're supposed to be there, different things like that. Not everything, but starting to learn some baseball IQ, because a lot of people have talent, a lot of people have strength and hit home runs or speed, but in this day and age, what's going to separate you from the guy next door, or the guy across the country, or even the guy in another country that has the same amount of talent and is working the same amount of time that you are? What could set you apart is baseball IQ, being in the right place at the right time. There's intangibles that coaches speak about, and that's learned. You can learn that skill. That can be developed. You can learn and study the game of baseball. So I encourage you to watch baseball as a student, not just be entertained, but learn. As a coach, I still watch Major League Baseball or college baseball as a student. I want to learn, in this situation, what's the third base coach doing? What in this situation, what's the signs? Kind of when's he bunting? So I'm watching as a coach to learn. I encourage you to watch as a player as well. So again, that was the first part of a 5-part series. Stay tuned for more historical players and current players, also IQ stuff, baseball history stuff. It's really, really cool over the next 5 weeks. See you guys.